Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, I'm AspieAnswersAll, and right now I'm introducing to you all a new topic in the mental health awareness series, which is social anxiety versus social awkwardness versus shyness and all the like in these anxiety series that I'm wanting to address to you all right now in the piece. So no further ado, basically, I have covered so far basically in the part 2 basically, and I did the introduction of social anxiety basically and the definition of social anxiety, classic examples of social anxiety and the like, as well as in the last pieces as well. It was the episode 2 was the shyness versus the tips and advice of self-help on how to overcome it in episode 3, and episode 4 basically now is going to be on the part 2 series of it, is basically on the social awkwardness of the 6 character profiles that is addressed to people of the social awkwardness. And basically, just to bear in mind, basically I am no medical professional, to put a disclaimer out right now. I'm just a normal everyday Joe Blogs sharing my life story experiences with you all, as well as basically hopefully giving you some of the tips and advice and maybe along the way of how I managed to cope with some of these everyday classic diagnoses of these mental illnesses that I have been suffering from what I shared with you all, and hopefully maybe just to give you a clearer understanding, to just maybe remove the stigma and misunderstanding of such of what's going down right now, regardless what it may be. And all further ado though, basically I have been trying to differentiate between the two, some of these definitions that people obviously tend to misunderstand right now, to what these terms that I'm sharing with you all, be it social anxiety versus shyness, social awkwardness and the like. That's why I'm here, like I said, to you all today and every day, to just address to you all and basically educate you all about these differences, and hopefully that you can gain a better understanding from what I'm sharing with you all. And no further ado though, let's begin with the social awkwardness, basically of the 6 profiles of it. But you've got to remember here though, just to bear in mind before I begin, key thing to remember about social awkwardness basically, as well as social anxiety, being shy, being reserved and the like of what I'm going to address to you all, do lead to some misunderstanding basically. And while with this misunderstanding on these terms that I'm using, they do possess different traits or characteristics, of these profiles that I'm going to share with you all, especially on this part of the social awkwardness. So basically, number 1 of it is basically social awkwardness isn't knowing how to behave in a particular social setting. A classic example maybe for some people that are socially awkward could be basically a party that they were invited to, and they may feel uncomfortable. It's all about the nerves and the particular person feeling nervous at that social setting. It's that classic example just shared with you all at the party, and then they, besides being nervous, they'll behave in a weird manner, and many people might tend to question their, vibe of what they're setting off, being, behaving in weird ways, whatever it may be, the agitation of fidgeting in their seat, maybe fiddling with their phones, fiddling with their fingers, avoiding eye contact, basically. And then, many people will look at us strangely also, as well as asking certain questions about our particular odd behaviours towards them. Sometimes it may seem off that, they're creepy, when in reality they're not. And an ongoing of negative cycle continues of basically, what's going on inside that mindset, and how that particular someone is socially awkward, and they tend to, self-doubt in themselves and all that. Bear in mind also that it's not always people that are socially awkward. Another characteristic in here I want to address to you all about, basically, as I've shared before, is people that are autistic, basically, or people that suffer from AS also shows these characteristic traits. Not all of them, some of them, but again, it's all in the mindset, how we're going to go about it. It's up to us how we're going to actually really go ahead and actually, move on from here if we want to, remain the same. But it's all based on our everyday choices like anything else. So, number 2, however, of the profile is not understanding social norms. Some people may say or admit that they don't know what's deemed appropriate to them to do and not to do in a social situation, again maybe at a party. Some people might not even know also how is it okay to start a conversation, what conversation topics is best to be discussed or talked about and when, or what is suited as a joke or what is suitable to joke about with or with someone in particular, that they're in that group while engaging and interacting with others, and what isn't. Obviously with a lack of understanding here, basically, of the knowledge as well, can lead to either weird or shy behaviours. Number 3, often having a different impact than what is intended. What I'm meaning here, it's usually quite common to be socially awkward people from time to time to joke about something or someone to find the joke that was made uncalled for. Yet there's a line not to cross, however. You need to know your boundary line, when to cross and when not to. Basically, another way to look at it is trying to give a compliment to someone only that it may come out as you're flirting or being a right ass, even just to fit in, wasn't meant to come out that way in the very first darn place. Number 4, lack of the conversation flow or flow of conversation. Okay, now and again, as we know, basically, most people or almost everyone may encounter this or have a conversation with each other that doesn't have a conversational flow. It's learning how to engage and interact and know when to, talk and whatnot. A few awkward silences here and there maybe will result, as well as maybe end the conversation abruptly, But for social awkward people, this is a rule, not an exception. Number 5 of the profile is frequently being avoided or ridiculed by others. This again can be also for people maybe that are shy and that they have all these self-doubts about themselves and basically what goes on around them. Why are they looking at me? Why are they laughing at me? How am I looking? While and the list goes on. Many of us though, however, will tend to judge actively with these interactions with others around us or with us in general of the ones that are being socially awkward, or even mock us to the point when certain assumptions arises, thinking that we are weird and you're making really bad excuses for yourself for not socializing in the first place with those people. You're doing everything in your power. You're doing everything in your power to do this, even though you, as I said, feel uncomfortable in a social setting. Be it example, again, I'll address here the party. Last mistakes on the last part of the personal profile of the social awkwardness basically is lacking of meaningful connections with others. People who are socially awkward may tend to struggle with making conversation with others, feeling at ease maybe for some in expressing themselves effectively, as they do lack in strong connections with their peers. They generally will have few friends, if any, or just a small social circle. They usually spend a lot of their time alone. Basically, this ends the social profile of the social awkwardness. Basically, give me the like for thumbs up for support. Basically, also feel free to comment below if I've missed out any that you feel maybe deemed fit for these personal profiles of a social awkward person. Feel free to also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, also basically feel free to subscribe to my channel for daily, weekly vlogs, basically to know what I'm up to and whatnot. Basically, till next time, love what you do what you love one another, be kind to yourself, be true to yourself. Until next time, have a great day.